Welcome, crochet friends, back for a little bit of fiber therapy. I'm Ellen Gormley, and I am placing a slip knot on my hook. We're making the Granny Octagon from my book, Go Crochet Afghan Design Workbook. I have a smooth acrylic Aran or worsted size yarn, and I have a K size hook. I've been playing with different hook sizes with these different swatches. So the book says a size K, but I had forgotten and started to make one in I, and then I started making one in H, trying to see which gauge was right. And that's a good practice for you to do when you're trying to figure out what gauge to make. So I'm going to do a K here, and we'll see how it compares to the others. With the symbol diagram I have enlarged for you, you start motifs in the middle, and I've got a dot here, which is a slip stitch, and 1, 2, 3, 4 ovals, which means we are going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the dot means slip stitch. So I'm going to slip stitch in the 4th chain from the hook and pull up a loop. There we go. And this is where all the stitches will go in that little loop. And our first round, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. It counts as the first double crochet. And I wanted to make you this granny because many of you are used to the square grannies, but this is an octagon. It has 8 sides, but the beginning is the same as a traditional granny with a double crochet and a double crochet. So we have a grouping of 3 double crochets. Now we're going to, let's see if I can get you the best view of this here. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3 for our corner. So this is just like a traditional granny square that you have maybe done with your aunts or grandparents or mothers or sisters or friends or coworkers or whoever. I learned to crochet from my great aunt. So there's 3 double crochets and a chain 3 for the next corner. I love crochet. You guys know I do because it is a fun and relaxing, valuable use of our time. 3 double crochets and chain 1, 2, 3. And you can see that if we're following along on the symbol diagram, we have chain 1, 2, 3. It counts as the first double crochet. 2 more double crochets, which is the T with the little hash mark, which means the yarn over. Chain 1, 2, 3 is the corner. And another grouping of 3, chain 3, 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets, and we'll finish with a chain 3. So I have one more side to go. So the granny square is really an iconic piece of crochet history, isn't it? So we will end with a chain 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It should look pretty much exactly like the diagram. Also, I photocopied it in black and white, but in the book it's in color, and you can, and all the, I don't even think I've got the, do I have green? Yeah, I do have it popped up. So if you take a good look at the book, you can kind of see that the font is green and gray. So it alternates colors round by round so that you can see the difference between one round and the next. So we will finish this round 1 with a slip stitch in the top chain, 3rd chain of that beginning chain 3, which counted as the first double crochet. And I'm going to fasten off, remove my hook, put the cut tail through the loop. Okay, and this is where it gets different from a traditional granny square. I'm going to pull the light blue this time. We're going to go ahead, and even though the diagram, I wrote this book in 2011, friends, and this diagram says to join round 2 with a slip stitch and then a chain 3, and then working around the diagram, we were gonna, but I don't like to chain 3 anymore. I like to join with a double crochet. So just like my book and like what I like to do, you can go ahead and change it based on what you like and what is good for you. So I'm going to place a slip knot on my hook. I'm going to take my piece. I'm going to yarn over because I'm going to be double crocheting. I'm going to insert my hook in the spot where I want to go. Hold that yarn over on the hook with my thumb. Pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops on the hook, and yarn over, pull through 2 loops on the hook. That's the standing double crochet. And I'm going to go ahead and do it that way because that's the way I like to do it now. Although 10 years ago when I wrote the book, I used to do it the other way. And maybe our tech editor decided to do it that way for simplicity's sake. I'm not sure. Anyway, 2 double crochets or 2 more, so a side of 3, chain 3, and 3 more in that same chain 3 corner. 1, 2, 3. And then 3 more in that chain 3 corner. I'd like to give a shout out to my channel members. Karen F is a new channel member. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, and the side, this is where we start doing different than a traditional granny square. To make this an octagon, instead of just one chain for the side, I'm doing 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we'll go to the next corner with 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets, which is a very traditional granny square type thing. And you can see that notation. We are now here, instead of doing just one chain for the side, we did 3. Then 1, 2, 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets, all in that chain 3 corner space of the previous round. 1, 2, 3. If I'm going too fast for you, go ahead and pause and re-watch as many times as you need to. Again, the side, remember, what are we doing different? Instead of a chain 1, we're going to chain 3 from the traditional granny square that you may have learned. Of course, the granny square is one of the things that I learned first when I was maybe 8 years old or so. I learned it from my great aunt who lived next door. And then at some point, I think I was around 13, my mom and I made a granny square, traditional granny square blanket for my grandmother, and we made it together. And I have fond memories of pulling different scraps of yarn out of the bag. Chain 3 here for the side, remember? And then we would hold up our squares to each other, my mom and I, of like the different color combinations we chose for the scrap blanket. And then she put it together, my mom did, with cream colored yarn. And that's what tied it all together visually. And after my grandmother passed, I received the blanket back. So I do still have it. I ought to show it to you one day. 1, 2, 3 for the side instead of just 1. Okay, see where we're going here? So what's happening here? It is a square, but these sides are now chain 3s instead of chain 1. So those become corners in the next round. And I'll show you in just a moment. But after this chain 3 corner, we're going to go ahead and end with a slip stitch in the beginning stitch. And I chose to do a standing double crochet instead of a chain 3 because I rarely do the things the same way twice. Just so happens. So we're fastening off that color and grabbing the next. You can use way more than 2 colors. You can use 4 colors for the 4 rounds, or you can do it all in 1 color. Totally up to you. Have fun playing with color. So I'm going to again join with a double crochet. Here we are on round 3. There's the number 3 to indicate we're on round 3. We're following the lighter gray this time because we're alternating rounds. So round 3. Also, I keep all my right sides facing. I don't turn in mine. So follow the instructions of your pattern, but this is the way I generally do it. I'm going to join with a double crochet instead of a chain 3, and it's in a corner spot. And so then I'll do the same traditional corner there. But we've got a lot more twists and turns, or should I say corners. So I've joined with a double crochet. I'm going to place 2 more double crochets in the same space before chaining 3. I thought you guys might like a fun variation of this granny square. This is a granny octagon. And hey, if you want another variation of a granny square, oh, let's see, let's get back to task here. I'm only chaining 1 on this side here, okay? Chain 1 until I get to the next corner. So we're going to chain 1. Now this becomes a corner because we're doing 8 corners instead of 4 because an octagon has 8. So I'm going to place a corner, which is 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets in each corner. 1, 2, 3, and 3 double crochets. So as I was saying, if you want another variation on a granny square, a very simple granny square variation is in the Off to College blanket, which I'll put an end card up here at the upper corner of your screen, and that will be the card that you can click on next to watch the next video, and that will be the Off to College blanket. I have a crochet along video series for that if you're interested, if you want to keep playing with granny square variations. Okay, so I had a chain 1 on the side, and then the corners are each the same. There's 8 of these all the way around, 3 double crochets, 3 chains, 3 double crochets. Here we are at another quote corner that we created. So we're going to keep right on going. So here we are on the symbol diagram. And if you want to look at the motif here that I made earlier, we are now on round 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm alternating colors though. So this is the section that I'm making now along the side of a motif. And it's this color sequence because I started with the purple. So we did the purple, we did the light blue. We're now working on the purple again. So much fun. So I hope that you enjoy symbol diagrams because I think they make crocheting so much faster. And I know that everybody has just limited time for your special hobbies. And since crochet is so cool and fun and functional and relaxing, you know, we want to try and fit in these activities where we can. Okay, so another chain 1 in between corners. And here is the next corner, the next chain 3 spot. So anytime you come to a chain 3 spot, you're placing a corner, which is the 3 double crochet grouping, the chain 3, and another 3 double crochet grouping. Also, I can show you how to fasten off this, or how to join it to the previous motifs in just a moment. When we get to the final round of this motif, I'm going to show you how to join it to the previously made ones. Anything essentially can become a crochet join as you go project, which cuts down on the sewing. I think that's a lot of reasons why crocheters sometimes shy away from motifs or squares or octagons or hexagons or whatever, because you don't really want to do the extra work of sewing them together, and I totally get that. So since we crochet and we love to crochet, why not crochet them together? So crocheting them together is the preferred method most of the time. But it's nice, fun, rhythmic, relaxing, easy to remember pattern, which is always fun. Okay, we are on the last corner, 1, 2, 3 for the corner loops, 3 double crochets, and we are rounding this last corner over here now. We've gone all the way around. Okay, and we will just chain 1, and join the slip stitch in the top of the first stitch, whether we chained it or we joined it with a double crochet. And here's how it looks so far, friends. Looks pretty fantastic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Always good to count your corners and make sure you have the right number of sides. Fastening off, and now I'm going to do the blue, and I'm going to do a couple sides of blue, and then I'll show you how to join it to this previously made motifs. So octagons will stack on top of each other with a row here. So make a more of a grid-like for you. It's going to stack like this. And there will be a space here, and we could fill it in with a tiny one of these, just the row 1s if we want. So let's see if we have time for that. All right, I'm gonna yet again join with a slip knot so that I can join with a double crochet. I like to join in a corner. Here it's saying join round 4 with a chain 3 or a double crochet right here in a corner space. So I am gonna do that. And then on this one, I was playing with it earlier. The pattern has us doing 8 more double crochets across the side, but mine was waffling too much. It was like wavy, like a sea anemone. And so I went ahead on subsequent ones and pulled out that middle double crochet to make it lay a little flatter. So whatever you decide to do when you are stitching, just make a note of it and use your swatch to help teach you how you want it done, and then do it that way. But according to the instructions, I have double crochet in each of the 3 double crochets from the previous row, double crochet in the chain 1 space, double crochet in the 3 double crochets, and then 1 more double crochet in the chain 3 space. So if I pull out my hook, this right here is the first one. So I need to do double crochet here, here, and here. I'm supposed to do one here. I'm supposed to do one in each of the next 3 double crochets and one in the corner. So I haven't decided yet. I think that I am going to choose to skip the middle one just because I feel like the stitches are bigger than I had anticipated with this particular yarn. And so even though it tells me to place a double crochet there in that chain 1 space, I'm going to choose not to. And you know what? It's always your choice what you do with a pattern. Just be aware if you change things up in the middle, you might have a different amount of yarn used than specified in the pattern. And then don't blame the designer if you've changed your mind. So I guess I better not yell and call and yell at her, huh? Anyway, okay, so as we're getting to the next corner, I'm going to go ahead and join after I get finished with this side. As we are going all the way around, oh, I ought to show you a side first here. Okay, so the side without joining. Here's 2 sides without joining. It's all straight double crochets, chain 3 for the corner, and double crochets across. Whether you choose to skip that one or not, it's up to you, but whatever you do, be consistent. So when I get over to the corner where I want to join, I'm going to kind of eyeball how this is going to work, lay it out flat on my table, kind of eyeball this corner needs to join here, this corner needs to join here, roadmap where I'm going, then this corner needs to join here, and this corner down here needs to join there to complete this foursome. So I like to lay it flat on my table so I know where I'm going. I'm going to, instead of chaining 3 for the corner because I'm joining, I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to put my hook behind the other swatch, that already previously made motif in that chain 3 corner, that adjacent corner. Pull up a loop, pull through the fabric and through the loop on the hook, and chain 1, and that becomes the same amount of space as a chain 3. It's chain 1, join, chain 1, which is the same space or amount of yarn essentially as chain 3. So we'll just keep working as if that other one is not dangling there. I'm going to skip that space because that's my prerogative. And I'll just join, keep working the side as if nothing happened. And then when I come to the next corner, I'll do the same thing. Double crochet 1, chain 1, join by placing my hook under and in that adjacent chain 3 loop on the previously made adjacent motif. Grab the yarn, slip stitching through that space and through the loop on the hook, chain 1. And continue. If necessary, you can rotate your whole piece so that you can see where you're going. Move you back into frame a little bit better here. So this is the granny octagon. You can pretty much make a granny out of every shape. And I'm going to go ahead and skip that space because I feel like it. 1, 2, 3, and then you get 1 more double crochet in the corner. Again, if necessary, lay it out flat, give it a look, straighten it all out. I'll pull this diagram out if that helps some. Oh, look, there's, oh my gosh, look how brilliant this is, friends. Okay, right here, this is the all call blanket from the same book, the Go Crochet Afghan Design Workbook. Here is an octagon. Let me give you my camera over here. This is an octagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 corners. See it? Look, this is an octagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whew. Okay. And then down here, look, here's another octagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And here's an octagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what is left in the middle is a square. The negative space when you put 4 octagons together is a square. So we can fill that in later with a square motif, just like I filled in a square motif here in between these. All of these patterns are in this book, Go Crochet Afghan Design Workbook. Okay, sorry about that. It just hit me all of a sudden. So lay it down. We're back here. We're ready to join. We're ready to join this corner and this corner here in here, and then finish the round as if nothing happened. So we chained 1, we're going under the previously made motif in that chain 3 space, pull up a loop, pull through the loop on the hook, chain 1, and go back and finish this row, this round, this side, as if nothing happened. So I am working over a tail because that's what I do. There you go. So I have some more, let's see, let's finish this row here. I'll show you one more join. We'll chain 1, one more good look at that join. Find where we're going to join, insert the hook underneath there, grab the yarn, pull up a loop, pull through the loop and the loop on the hook, and chain 1. So I have for you the Off to College blanket in this tab up here for you to watch the next video. And down here I will place a more read and stitch along patterns if you're having fun reading and learning how to read patterns. And there's Tunisian patterns in that read and stitch along playlist. And then over here I will place the crochet conversations if you want to just hang out and talk crochet. There's plenty of that going on. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Turn on the notifications bell. And if you'd like to join as a channel member, you can hit the join button underneath the video.